Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be making a tater tot breakfast casserole in my Ninja Speedi. I'm going to be using the bake function today. So I went ahead and got some of the ingredients already prepared, like the onion and the two different types of cheese. I went ahead and got them all grated and chopped up. So I am pretty much ready to cook my sausage here. So, and you do want just 1 pound of sausage. We do turkey sausage here just because that's what I have on hand. And I will mention that I spaced out on getting a jalapeno when I was at the store, so I do not actually have that jalapeno. But everything else I have, so I'm going to get the sausage cooked up and then we'll be ready to move on to the next part. Alright, so as you can see, I did put my 1 pound of sausage in my preheated skillet. There is 1 tablespoon of oil in there as well. I use avocado oil just because that's what I have in my house, so you can use whatever oil you like. And I do have the 1.5 cups of onion that I talked about earlier, pre-chopped, and then also there is 2 cloves of garlic in there. And then the plate is covered with paper towels because as soon as the sausage is done, you just simply transfer it over to the plate without draining any of the juiciness from the sausage. And I also wanted to show you all my 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese and then my 1.5 cups of Gouda. And then this is just your 3/4 cup that we're going to use when we put the eggs and all that fun stuff together. So yeah, I'll be back as soon as the sausage is done. Alright, so my timer just barely went off, so I'm going to just scrape this up just a tiny bit here. And like I said, I'll transfer it over to the plate. I'm just going to leave my burner on really quick, just because I'm going to get this off of here. And then I'm going to put my onions in here and get them cooking. So, and just make sure I got it centered on the burner again. So, alright. Alright. So there is your 1.5 cups of onion. I'm just going to go ahead and get them sauteing in the pan. Probably for about 4 minutes is what I like to do, just to get them nice and fragrant. And then I'll add in the garlic. And obviously if I had the jalapeno, I would add that in as well. But yeah, so I'll be back in about 4 minutes here. Alright, the timer just went off for me to add in the garlic and jalapeno if I had one. But I do not, so I'm going to let this cook for about a minute. Sorry. And then we'll be able to move on to getting the eggs ready. Alright, so the garlic has cooked, and so I just transferred it to the plate with the sausage, and because it's all going to go in the bowl here in just a little bit. So the next part in the recipe here, which is basically step 3, it says whisk together eggs half and half and salt in a large bowl. And then it says to add the sausage mixture. So let me at least get my eggs all in here, because y'all don't need to see me cracking eggs and putting them in a bowl. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so I got my 8 eggs in here. And now I'm going to add in my 1.5 cups of half and half. And then 1¼ teaspoon of salt. So there's 1 teaspoon. And your quarter. Perfect. And then we're going to whisk our lives away here. Get them all whisked up before we add in our cheeses and everything else. So Get it all nice and whisked together. Kind of like so. Get this guy out of the way here. All right, and then add sausage mixture. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump the whole thing in here. Obviously not the paper towel. That I don't think would taste very good. And it says 3/4 cup of the cheddar and 3/4 cup of the Gouda. So this is when your little 3/4 cup measuring cup comes in handy. So I'm gonna just try to get this filled to the top, and then I'll show you guys. So that's about full to the brim there of the cheddar. And then do with your Gouda. All right. There's your Gouda. You can get that out of the way. And stir it until combined, of course. So let's make sure. Make sure we're all in here nice and good. Okay. I do believe somewhere I need to add in my pepper. And the pepper is just a 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that in here really quick. Because as I just read in the recipe, and this is the first time for me making the recipe as well, so in step number 2, when you're adding the onion and the garlic and jalapeno, that's when you add in your little 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And, you know, I obviously did not do that, as you just saw. So it's a learning process. Okay. So now I am going to get set up over by the Speedi because we're ready to put it all in with the tater tots and everything. So give me just a quick second. All right, so I know it's going to be a little bit hard to see here, but you do need to spray your pan or Ninja Speedi. So I'm going to just go ahead and spray this down a little bit just to make sure we don't get anything too stuck to the sides. But I think it's still going to turn out fantastic anyway. So now that we're all coated with some cooking spray, or non-stick spray I should say, we are ready to assemble the breakfast casserole. So on the very bottom we're going to do 1 32-ounce package of tater tots. And just pour the whole thing in there. Whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of spread it around a tiny bit. And then you're going to pour your egg mixture over the tots, moving tots around until egg mixture is evenly dispersed. So, get my spoon out of the way for now. Alright. And so yeah, we're just going to pour that all in there. And then scoop out all the good stuff that's left in here because we want all the cheese and all the good little bits in there. Okay, get that bowl out of the way so you guys can see me. I'm just going to kind of, like it said, mix it all around so all the eggs and tots are covered, and make sure the eggs get every little crevice in here. And so for me, this looks pretty good. And yes, you guys get an up-close version of our little girl. She apparently doesn't like the episode that's on TV right now. So, I'm gonna try to get this done before she throws a big fit. And so now that it's all in here, you top with the remaining 3/4 cup of cheddar and 3/4 cup of Gouda. So we'll go ahead and do that really quick here. And so here is the remaining cheeses. And the cheesier the better. She just scared herself because she opened up the dishwasher because it wasn't locked, so. Alright. There is the remaining cheddar, and then here goes the remaining Gouda. I did happen to find smoked Gouda cheese at the store, so that's the kind that I am using. I'm sure regular Gouda would be just as great. So, alright. So it says bake in preheated oven until eggs are set and cheese is melted and just starting to brown on top. It says approximately 40 to 45 minutes. And then it goes into the broil process if you want to broil it just to get a little more brown. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys off the stand just so you can see a little bit better here with what I'm doing. So I already have it plugged in. And we're going to go ahead and close it because we're going to be baking, and you'll notice I did not preheat it or anything like that. So, and I already have the little knob flipped down here for the air fry side because we are going to be baking. So I'm going to go ahead and just move that down. And the oven / Speedi should be set to 350. So we're just going to add that, and like I said, it said about 40 to 45 minutes, so we're going to just set it for 40. And then I'll probably check it here in 30 minutes just to see how we look. So hit the start button and I'll be back in a little while. Alright, so like I said, it's been 30 minutes. So I'm just going to take a peek in here and see. To me, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just poke it a little bit because you know you got to make sure the eggs are set. And I just want to kind of break up a little bit here, and as you can see we are not set yet. So I'm going to go ahead and let it do its thing for an additional 10 minutes. And yeah, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Go ahead and close the lid and it's going to keep going. Alright, so I got about 2 seconds. And it is done. Well, I'm hoping it's done. So, as you can see, you got that nice golden brown crust on there again. But I'm still just going to double check to see if my eggs are set. And as you all can see, I'm just going to go ahead and mix, just kind of go around the edges and see what I got here. But I am going to say we are definitely still runny, but we're getting closer. I feel like we're almost there, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of mix this up a little bit before I stick it back in. I'm gonna go ahead and set the time for 5 extra minutes here just to see if I can't get these eggs more set up here. And I'm still going to set it at 350 like the recipe called for. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. And since we just did all that, I'm going to show you that because it ended, it went ahead and just stayed at the temp that we had set. And so like I said, for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and just do an extra 5 minutes and hit the start button. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Alright, it's been another 5 minutes. So we're looking like we're making progress here. Just want to make sure, thinking that 5 extra minutes was just what we needed. Just want to get in here and see. Just kind of mix it around a little bit more. Just to make sure, you know, and this probably is not helping the process at all, but just to make sure that we're all set and not runny still. But to me, that looks like it's pretty good, so I'll let it cool down for just a minute because I don't want to burn my tongue off. So I will let it cool down for just a minute and then I'll give it a test to see how good it tastes. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm going in. Going in to get all the good bites in here. Oh yeah. I actually think that by adding the smoked Gouda versus just like regular Gouda cheese, I think that makes a little bit of a difference. You definitely get that little bit of smoky flavor in here. And yeah. See, it was good enough to go back for a second bite. So, and I also think that the jalapeno would have added a little extra spice to it as well. But for some reason I just totally spaced it when I bought all the ingredients for this. So, but that is how you do the tater tot breakfast casserole in your Ninja Speedi using the bake function.